You know, when you hear a company just landed a $30 million acquisition offer, the first thing you picture is founders popping champagne, right? Well, today, we're going to crack open a company's confidential deal playbook. And let me tell you, it shows the real story. We're going to see the surprising and honestly kind of shocking gap between that massive headline number and the cash that actually ends up in your pocket. So here's how we'll walk through it. We'll start with a very expensive problem that actually sets the whole stage. Then we'll see how that problem gets flipped into a huge value proposition. From there, how that value is used to build the offer. And then, this is the good part, we'll go through something called the deal waterfall to see where all that money really goes. And finally, we'll land on what truly matters in any multi-million-dollar deal. Okay, let's dive right in. To really get how a $30 million offer even gets created, you first have to understand this. Nearly $100,000 problem that these large dental groups are dealing with every single year at every single one of their locations. And this number right here, this is what kicks it all off. $96,600. That's the baseline cost per year for just one dental office to cover all the marketing and tech services that its corporate parent provides. It's a huge number, right? So you have to ask, what does it actually pay for? Well, it's not just random spending. It all goes toward a pretty standard package of services that the industry calls the DSO Shared Services Stack. DSO just stands for Dental Service Organization. You can think of it as the corporate mothership. And this stack is just all the centralized stuff they provide to their clinics. And here's what that stack actually looks like. You can see it's over $8,000 a month. So it adds up fast. You've got your usual suspects, SEO, search engine optimization, to make sure people find you on Google. You've got website costs, a CRM system to keep track of patients. All of this stuff bundles together to create that big annual bill. But here's the kicker. Even after spending almost $100,000 per location, these dental groups are missing some absolutely critical modern tools. I mean, they're invisible in new AI search results, they have no real system for attracting high-value patients, and honestly, they have no clue if all those marketing dollars are even working. And that gap, that's the whole opportunity right there. Okay, so you have this expensive, leaky bucket. Now let's see how this company, Dentiza, steps into the picture. They don't just show up and say, hey, we can replace your old tech. No, they reframe the entire conversation from being about cost to being about creating massive value. And this visual just lays out their pitch perfectly. Over on the left, you've got that old, expensive stack with all its glaring holes. And on the right, that's the Dentiza platform. It's an all-in-one solution that doesn't just replace the old stuff, it plugs every single one of those critical gaps we just talked about. They boil their entire impact down to this simple but really powerful formula. The total value they add comes from two places. First, all the money a client saves by firing their old, inefficient vendors. And second, and this is the big one, all the brand new revenue their modern platform helps generate. And here's where your jaw kind of hits the floor. When you apply this at scale, the numbers get absolutely staggering. For a dental group with 100 locations, Denticize saves them about $3 million a year on their old costs, which is great. But the real story is the revenue lift. $27 million in new business. You put that together, and it's over $30 million in new value created in 1 year. So think about that. If you can walk into a business and prove that you can create $30 million in new value for them, how in the world do you turn that into a logical acquisition offer? Well, that's the next part of this playbook. And the logic just scales right up. It doesn't matter if it's for 50 locations or 500. The playbook calculates that total annual value created. And you can see it right here. That value, the money they create in just the first year, becomes the direct foundation for the range of offers they expect. But here's what's smart. Instead of just aiming for the biggest number on the chart, the playbook identifies a strategic sweet spot, the 100-location deal. So why that one? It's because that $20 to $45 million offer range, that targets the biggest group of potential buyers out there, making it the most realistic deal to actually get done. Okay, this brings us to the absolute heart of this whole explainer, and frankly, the part of any acquisition that almost everyone misunderstands. We're going to follow that hypothetical $30 million offer and see what a founder actually takes home. Welcome to the deal waterfall. So let's just ask the question directly. The piece of paper, the term sheet, says $30 million. Is that what the founders get? The short answer is no. Not even close. And this slide right here shows you exactly why. That gross offer price, it's just the starting line. First, the investment banker who put the deal together takes their cut. Then come all the transaction costs. We're talking hundreds of thousands in legal and accounting fees. Next, big chunks of the money get held back. An earnout is money you only get if the company hits future targets. An equity rollover means you get paid in stock in the new company, not cash. Escrow is money held by a third party for a year or two, just in case anything goes wrong. And then after all of that, you still have to pay taxes. So here it is, the bottom line. After that waterfall of deductions does its thing, that super exciting $30 million headline offer shrinks to just $7.8 million in actual after-tax cash in the bank on day one. That's less than 26 cents on the dollar of the number everybody's talking about. Now, that other $22 million isn't just gone, but it has completely transformed. It's no longer guaranteed money. It's conditional money. It gets paid out over years and only if the business hits very specific, often aggressive targets. The escrow might come back, the earnout might get paid, that stock you rolled over might be worth something someday, but there are absolutely no guarantees. And this all brings us to the final and honestly, the most important lesson in this entire playbook. Once you really understand the deal waterfall, you realize something huge. The structure of the deal is just as important, maybe even more important, than the headline price itself. And this is where the real fight happens in a negotiation. It's not about that big number anymore. It's about protecting all that conditional maybe money. For instance, founders will fight to lock in their earnout targets, so the new owners can't just move the goalposts later to avoid paying. They'll also negotiate clauses to protect the value of their stock if the new parent company gets sold. And the source material just sums it up perfectly. The calculator, the math, makes it crystal clear that deal structure matters more than headline price. A lower offer with a better, more founder-friendly structure can actually put way more cash in your pocket than a much higher offer that's just loaded with risk. So the next time you see a headline flash across your screen about some massive acquisition, you'll know. You'll know the real story isn't just that big number. It's about the waterfall, it's about the structure, and it's about the long, conditional journey those founders are just beginning.